Hi everyone, welcome back. Yeah, I think we're live, and I think I've managed to avoid the mistake I made last week. So apologies to anyone who saw the stream from last week. But yeah, I forgot to hit go live on there, and I've done that now. I didn't realise you had to do that with scheduled streams. Silly mistake. But I did redo the stream on Thursday, so that episode is back up, and I redid all the code that I did then. So I guess first thing is to have a look at where we are at. Lots of warnings for dead code there. So we are here, we've got this lovely, again, front page, still needs some work. Cool, and we've got the asset images drawing, and excuse me, sorry, still got that cold. Yeah, so we've got the asset images drawing of just the walls and things. We might try and improve the wall detail this week if there's some time at the end. But the main thing I wanted to do was to get excuse me. Sorry, so yeah, the main thing I want to do this week is create a fireball that goes all the way down the corridor and hits the wall at the end, and then leaves a mark that slowly fades over time. So that's the thing I'm hoping to do. I'm hoping to start to introduce the idea of distance with it. So yeah, so I guess let's get started. So the first thing we want to do is create a fireball. So I'm going to make it. Oops, this fireball. Fireball wizard game. Still need to think of a better title than that. Going to make it 70 across, 100 high. And the reason is I kind of want to animate some little bits of fire popping off the top as it travels. I'm actually going to start with a 10 pixel width. So I've actually updated this app that I've been working in for a bit. So I've now got little prompts in the top right corner so you can see what the buttons do. Also it displays the pixel width, which it wasn't doing before. You can't edit that there, but you can double the pixels on the edge there. So first thing, probably best to start from the center actually. So I'm going to choose quite a light colour, still with a bit of yellow tinge. Oops. Okay, and then yeah, just actually that's too high. Actually, let's maybe move that up one, so it ends up here. Is that the reason why I'm doing that will become clear in a second, I hope, which is that I quite want to put like a slightly more reddish, why doesn't it say pink? Like a reddish hue around the edge to make it look a bit more like a fireball. Cool, I think that's good. So we'll save that and then double the number of pixels. Cool, so we've got more pixels to work with now. Make this a bit more refined, so we should we're at a pixel width of 5, which means that each block here is 5 pixels wide on a real screen. Also, we can zoom in. I think that's what it would actually look like in kind of real terms. You can zoom one more level out from that. But my plan is to take the fireball and actually have it get smaller, so we're going to be making it get smaller over time. So it looks like it's heading away from you, down from the away from the camera. So smooth off these edges. Yeah. And then take I'll take these bits off. I'm going to add another bit inside as well, inside the fireball. Kind of like, I don't know how to easily make it look more circular. I think we'll stick with the blocky graphics for now. So I'm actually going to take this color and go for a slightly more orange look here to go in. No, actually, that was wrong. Make sure we've still got that. Yeah. Oh, that's not light enough. Let's try that. Yes. Let's do that. Put this one back. Cool. Yeah, I like that. I think it still needs another shade to go. This like straw colour. Yeah, this is better. There we go, so it looks like it's changing. Can we choose another, maybe this is slightly lighter. Let's see how that looks. It's kind of not enough. Oh yeah, I like that. Brilliant, cool. Okay, so we've got this. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, I'm thinking maybe I might do one more layer to the red on the outside, I think. But I might make that a little bit darker. Cool. That kind of gives a nice, like, popping thing. Kind of looks like it emanates from the center. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to create a second frame and start to have the. So what this does, the plus button here, inserts a frame and it inserts it after whatever frame you've got. So if I was to select this one, it would insert it between 1 and 2, and then push 2 to 3. But it copies whatever's on there to the next frame, make it easier to animate. So, sorry, just put my watch on Do Not Disturb. So yeah, I think here I'm going to go with like the third tone out maybe. And then might jump straight to the, what's that? It's not sampling correctly. What's going on? Ah, I've messed it up. Yeah, okay, I'm just going to hit refresh there. Start again. Right, so I want to insert a new frame. That's why I wasn't selecting, because it was confused which frame it was on, and I haven't saved it yet. So let's save that, so we've now got 2 frames. Sample, start here. Actually, go with this orange, I think. really doesn't like that. It doesn't like that red, does it? It doesn't want to sample that. Sample the other colours. Okay. That's really weird. I have no idea what's going on with that. Okay. Right. Let's sample that. And just try and colour match from here. It's about there. Oh, I think that works for me as a frame. So we'll save that again, and then add a new frame. And then we want to move this up, so it's kind of becoming its own separate entity. Put this back. It should be there, shouldn't it? Yeah, do that. Raise that one. Oops. So this tone there. It really hates this red. I don't know why it doesn't like that, but it doesn't like sampling it. Interesting bug. So again, we'll just do the same thing. Yeah. Just push this a little bit further into here. Again, it's getting frustrating. Cool. Yeah, I think that works. So I'm happy with that. Let's save. And then add another frame. It's going to take even longer. I need to change up the way that the app works actually, so that it only sends changes rather than sending all of the pixels across. Because then every time you add a frame, it sends all the pixels across for all the frames. So it just kind of exponentially gets worse in terms of that. So what do we want to do now? So we want to sample this and move this up. That. It's not sampling that dark red is going to get really annoying. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Okay, pretty happy with that. Save, create another frame. So we can actually now have a look at the animation, so we can kind of see that it's doing what I hoped. It looks a bit like a solar flare. I was going to do one coming off this side, and then what I might do is actually create a slightly longer, excuse me, a slightly longer sprite sheet by just flipping it, so it goes one off to the right, one off to the left, and works like that. So let's stop the animation and close that. So now I think we want to start separating the sort of offshoot fireball. Go with that. Let's sample this. Yeah, it really is just thinks it's black. Okay, so sample this reddish colour. A bit around. Need to start making it a bit thinner as well. These bits. Actually gonna put that there, I think. And then take this red. Just going to disperse some red there, mess that up, put that there. Cool, yeah, save that. And now I want to start erasing from the middle. So actually get, ooh, did that one work? That one worked, nice. And gonna make it get a little bit cooler as it flames itself out by starting to tone down the number of yellow items in here. See how that looks in animation. I got a nice sort of look of movement around it. Can't remember if I saved, so I'm going to hit save again. Cool, and then create this frame. Decaying fast enough. So I think, yeah, we need to keep deleting from the bottom, I think. I'm going to move some of these around, get rid of them so it looks a bit more like it's imploding. I always find ending explosions is really hard. It's like getting the fade out whenever I try and do that. And then finally, just the last few little bits. In fact, I might just move them. That looks a bit weird. So they just suddenly scatter at the end there. Just a couple of little bits of I sort of think this animation is going to be quite fast, so it should be okay. And I think we're quite zoomed in here, so cool. I think that works. So we can probably try and render this now. Let's go back. Save images. Sheet. Okay. Save image as, and we're already in the right file. Fireball right, we'll call this. And we'll go back. Oh, I never did the reverse. Okay. That's annoying. Yeah, I didn't add the ability to rotate. We'll get this installed as is, so that we can at least crack on with some of the code, and then we'll see how it goes. So we'll just check that fireball right is in there. Excellent. Cool. So this is going to be an assets. I can see that we're already hitting a problem with naming modules. I think I'm going to need to create like a sub module in here, but for now I will just create a new file and call it fireball. And to be honest, might as well copy all of the code from backwall in here. Fireball right, we'll call this. Cool, so we've got our fireball here. Rename everything. So there's location, there's an image. Put some here so that we get IntelliSense. Cool. Why isn't it like that? Oh no, image. Okay, right. It didn't like that because we went. Right, and that's all there is to it, really. We need an update function in here. We're going to be passing in the delta of time changed, so that we can add new things in here. So really that's it, I guess. So go back to the game. We now need to, whenever the mouse is pressed, so the mouse down events. Oh, I see we're currently still logging these, so actually probably should get rid of those logs, otherwise we're just going to be filling up the console with them. We're going to want vector fireballs. And it's not, again, this will need a big refactor at some point in order to be able to not look insane, because otherwise we're just going to have like every single asset is going to exist within the game control of the canvas, which is that's not a good design. But we'll try and come up with a more generic way of doing that later on. So we need to add in fireballs here. Let's be a vec type fireball new. Cool, so we've got our empty list of fireballs, and now whenever we deal with a mouse down event, which is going to be here, let's see, because we don't want to be able to just fire infinite fireballs. We want to actually have a cooldown. Maybe actually now might be a good time to make a new module. So we'll call this player, and we can player, and then we're going to create another file in here. So this struct will be the player. The player needs to, well, really it just needs to have the fire cooldown for now, and the fire cooldown will be, yeah, let's make a const for fire cooldown. $64, and the value, let's make it 0.5. So we'll make it 0.5 seconds for now. And we'll implement player. From new. Shouldn't need to pass anything actually. Should return a player object with a fire cooldown. 0.0. We'll just set the initial cooldown so the player can fire straight away. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just checking on the stream that it's showing the right thing. Yeah, it seems to be working this time, which is cool. So, yeah, we also need our update and render functions. I'll probably make this a trait at some point, because we'll want to be able to force or coerce things to be this or have that behavior, have the update and the render. But for now, I will just do this. So if fire cooldown is greater than 0.0, fire cooldown is equals delta. If fire cooldown is less than 0.0, then we make it equal to 0.0. There we go. So it can never fall below 0 on this. We don't want negative numbers, and that means that we can check whether the player. In fact, that's a good point. We need to make that public so that we can check that the cooldown is equal to 0, so that we know when we can do the next. For now, I'm just going to ignore this because we don't need it. I can't remember which of these we'll need. I think it needs to be that one. Later on, in fact, I'm going to leave a little to-do here, is to draw the wand. So I was thinking that for the game, there'll be, because we're going to be casting spells, I want to have like a wand thing sticking out in front, a bit like typical first-person shooter view where you can see the gun on there. But for now, we'll leave that, because I also wanted it to sort of track where the cursor is on the screen. And I'm also going to hide the cursor and draw a new bubble. I've got an idea for that, but I think that's for a future video. Okay, fireballs is never used. And we need to add the player into here. Oops. Actually going to put it beneath the walls because the walls are And in main, we need to import our player module, because we've just created a new module. And then in game, we will need to use create player. Hey. Is it in there? Oh gosh, that's a lot of. Yeah, that is a lot of the word player repeated multiple times. Oh yeah, of course, I forgot. Oops. Let's have the reference to self. And that's going to be self.fireCooldown. Excellent. Right. Also going to create a fire function, which will simply set the cooldown. So self.fireCooldown is equal to fire cooldown, or cooldown L, so I've called it. Okay. Yeah, so that should give us our cooldown. It's half a second. So yeah, for now I think we're good. For the update for the fireball. Oh, maybe a fireball needs. Does it need to have a lifetime? So we've got a couple of options basically. We can do the fireball can either have like a length of time that it lives before it flames out, or it just keeps going until it hits something, which we'll need to calculate somewhere. But for now, I'm actually just going to draw a fireball at the location. I just need to plumb in everything and make sure it's being drawn. So we said it was after the walls. It's going to be player new. There. Cool. Cool. And this one, when I got mouse down, message. Yeah. Do we actually draw the last action anyway? I don't think we do. I think initially we were printing that to the screen, so actually we can probably get rid of this now, but I won't, just in case we need it for debugging. So if self.player.fireCooldown is equal to 0.0, then we will create a new fireball. Self.lastY. Cool, and we're going to set the player to fire so that there is a cooldown. So that's the render, which we definitely need, but we also need to do the update as well. We actually aren't currently updating any assets. I think we actually want to do it from here. I'm really sorry, I'm going to have to consult my other projects. I know it's a bit, I said I was going to write all the code on screen, but I can't remember how I did the update before. Yeah, it is just, so for every render, call the update. Yeah, that's right, I remember now. So it's going to be I'm going to call this game update because the update function is, the update function handles the messages. I'm going to fold all these. And in fact, I'm going to put this here, game update. And it doesn't actually take anything, but it's going to calculate the update now, and it doesn't like date, so just can't remember where that comes from with JSys. It may complain, yeah, there we go, okay. I have to add in the JSys library by doing cargo add JSys. Cool, and yeah, that's now finding that. So we've got the current time, and we need to hold the last update. And of course, the new or the create will complain. Last update, set this to muscle memory there, typing new instead of now. Why main method names? I'm not sure why I can't find that. I don't know why. Didn't make it a. There we go. Yeah, so I didn't actually add in the self reference. Okay, and then the difference is the current time minus self.last update. And the self.last update is equal to current time. So this means that we've now got the difference. This is our delta that we can pass, and we've been adding to all of our update functions. So I guess the first thing is to update the player, so their cooldown can go. Actually, for now, we'll stick with just updating that, because we're not starting with the animation for the fireball. Just start with creating the fireball, and thinking about it, this now needs to be the source width. So we need to fireball image width needs to be an F64. So now's the question of how wide did we make the fireball? Go open, and it is 70 across. Excuse me, I'm really sorry for this. So it's 70.0, and then we might as well do the height as well. And the height was 100, because we need to leave space for the other elements to bubble off the top. And then in here, that's right, it's the source width, and we need that to be fireball image width, and the source height is going to be fireball image height. Great, so that should actually draw the right thing now. So after the walls are done, just going to leave a little note there because it helps to keep the project organised. Call this game assets. And then player assets, and then finally we'll put the hood stuff, the heads-up display stuff at the end. It's probably a good way round to put them, I think, or at least put them there so we know we've got a prompt for next stream as to what he's doing. So that's the end draw game elements, and then in here for, I'm going to call it FB in self.fireballs.iter fb.render, and passing a mutable reference to context. Cool, so that should work. So now, in theory, if it's working, we should just be able to click, and it should fire a fireball. But just so that we've got a way of tracking this, I'm actually going to add in a log message. Firing fireball. Cool. Bash has got a bit confused. Chunk save. Oh yeah, I forgot we just added the JSSys thing. Oh, we've got an error. Okay. Self is an @ reference and it can't be written. Okay, well, I forgot to make that mutable. I'm guessing that's something yeah. Great, okay, let's try running that. Great. So, we have our game. We click. Okay, nice. That is actually working. It doesn't look like it's working, but it is, and I know where it's gone wrong. And that's because the output needs to be yeah, we'll just, for now, we'll set this to be the fireball image width and height. So it's actually stretching it to be the full image, but the height was correct. Fireball image height, there we go. So we'll restart that. Okay, well, it's a good start, other than it's not appearing where the cursor is. It's very much off from the cursor. That I'm not entirely sure why that's happening. Let's have a look. This is why. It's because it's subtracting from the wrong thing. So we're still using the full width of the image to calculate the center point. That's much better. There we go. I'm still not convinced the cooldown's working, so I'm going to set the cooldown here to be 3 seconds, just so we definitely shouldn't be able to fire very quickly. Okay, yeah, so the cooldown's not working because it's letting me just fire fireballs everywhere. So let's go and have a look at why the... Okay, self.player.fire. So this should be setting... This equals delta. Okay, delta should be a fraction of a second. So, finish cooldown. Okay, it doesn't like that, so we just need to use new console log. There, it should like those again. Yep. Okay, so we've got our console here. We've got this. Yep, it's finishing immediately. Okay, I'm wondering if actually that should be 3000 because it's in milliseconds. That would absolutely explain my mistake here. Yeah, the delta is coming in at, so that's the number of milliseconds since, so that is entirely my fault. So yeah, let's just check. So we'll set it to 3000.0, just to make sure. And need to rebuild. Excellent. Cool. And then it finishes 3 seconds later. So I'll just show you that again. So you see it's setting the cooldown, and then there's a period of time. It's about 3 seconds. Maybe more than 3 seconds. Okay. Yeah, actually, if it exactly equals 0, then it's not going to. Then it's never going to write that. So let's do if self.fire cooldown is less than equal to 0.0. Don't know if must do that. But should only come in there once. Let's find this one open. Console. There we go. It's about 3 seconds. Cool. Okay. So next thing is to change that back to 500 so that it goes. It's not so frustrating because 3 seconds is a long time. It felt very clumsy, but I'm glad that we've proved that. Get rid of those log messages. They clutter up the console. Get rid of numbers and get rid of that one. Cool. So now we need to update the fireball and make it get smaller over time. So we will say, we'll give it a time to live, or TTL, F64, and that will need to be, actually we'll set it as const to start with, time to live, and that will be 3000 seconds. Time to live, and then what I'm thinking is that we'll make the size. Just for now, we'll need to tweak this a little bit later on, but we'll put size equal to the actually sorry output width. Say is going to be equal to the self.ttl divided by what it started as, which is that constant, fireball, time to live. So it's now a fraction of itself, multiplied by the width. Sorry, brain not working today. Let output height equal, actually I'll just, got this plugin which tells you the types, but it keeps moving everything around, which is frustrating. Okay, self.ttl, oh yeah, forgot to add in the reference to self. So self.ttl minus equals delta if self.ttl is less than or equal to 0.0, then self.isAlive is going to be equal to false. We need to add isAlive into here. Oops. Cool. Actually going to make that public rather than create a function to expose it. IsAlive is true. And then we'll keep going until isAlive is false, and if not self.isAlive, then we just return. So we're going to just not draw ourselves once we're dead, and we can call a collect function to deal with that in the oops. Okay, so we should see these like disappear into the distance, get a bit smaller as they travel on. But we need to add the update into the game. So come to game update, and we'll do for fb in self.fireballs .iter, fb.updates diff. Okay, it doesn't like this because we can't borrow it as mutable. So let's take that. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, so we had to call it a mute instead of iter in order to be able to get an iterable going through there. Yeah, that, you know, that might just work. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. I like that. It's cool. It's not quite centering properly. And the reason for that, so it's like going off into the distance and bending up a little bit. And the reason for that is because when we're doing the width calculation, we're not looking in the right place. So not using the right object. We use the output width and output height to calculate the center of the image. There we go. There we go, and now the fireballs are disappearing away from us as we expect. Cool, so now we've got a bunch of dead fireballs and we need to make sure we only retain the ones that we have. And just, there we go, yes, it's the retain. So we then call self.fireballs.retain and we oops. There we go. Yeah, so this is like a map function that only retains them if they hit a certain criteria, and in this case it's going to be is alive. So it's going to return the is alive from that function. So it should hopefully clear up any dead ones so they don't hang around just filling up that vector needlessly. Yeah, okay, I'm actually pretty happy with that. I think the next thing is to get the animation going as well, so we can see the other little fireball popping off the top. That should be cool. So let's so inside fireball we're going to need to have a look at our curve frame, and that will be a U size, I think, or an I32. Yeah, let's make an I32. Okay. And the curve frame is going to be 0. And in the updates, oh yeah, we're going to need a so yeah, and then we're going to need a delay on the frame, so time to frame, and that will be an F64. And here, create a fireball time between frames. Let's say 80 milliseconds. We can play around with this in a bit. So time to frame. Oops. Let's do that. Cool. Okay. Yep. And then we can do self.time to frame minus equals delta. If self.time to frame is less than 0.0, we are going to add the fireball time between frames. And the reason we add instead of just setting it to that is because it could have gone past 0 and we want it to be as smooth as possible, so we're just going to add the amount on. And when we've gone past that, then the self.curveFrame plus equals 1. And if self.curveFrame as F64 multiplied by fireball image width is greater than or equal to self.image.width as F64, then it means that we've gone all the way around to the end and we need to go back to the beginning. So self.curveFrame would be equal to 0 at that point. Cool, and then the only other thing that changes is the source width. So the current frame is going to be self.currentFrame multiplied by fireball image width. And so it should move the, that's like 32, so let's cast that to F64. Cool, so yeah, that should now cycle through the animation for us. Look at that. It does. It actually looks really cool, I think, as well. I'm pretty happy with that. But I think we definitely need to add the one going the other side as well. But yeah, that's okay. That's cool. So let's get it. I'm actually going to try it. I'm going to try and double the animation speed and see. Just see what happens. I'll need to recompile. Oh, see, I quite like it at that speed as well. And obviously it looks a bit ridiculous because it's doing the same one each time. Yeah, let's try 60, which is like in the middle. I think it'll start to look cool as we get more of them coming out, but also maybe we could stitch a bunch together, and every time it finishes a cycle, it'll pick a random one. Yeah, that could work. So I guess we're back to drawing the fireball. So I guess the thing to do would be duplicate. So we'll call this fireball left, because the explosion will be coming out the left. And fireball left here. Cool, we've got our thing. So we can pretty much just copy the animation and just mirror it. Unfortunately, we will have to do that ourselves. But hey, it's a Saturday. We've got nothing else better to do. Well, I've got nothing else better to do. Doesn't have to be exact, of course, but in fact I've already screwed it up slightly. Yeah, I've gone too far. So that's right, and then it should come. No, it should come down here. Okay, that's better. Yeah, that's looking more like it. Okay. Back to the same problem with the red. I seem to remember we found a red that it quite liked. Yeah, let's go with that one. And then we just need to correct these colours here. Yeah, it's going to look a bit strange because it's a slightly different red, but at least that red works. Again, it's so strange that the sampling doesn't work on that. Have I messed this up? No, that's it, isn't it? Yeah. Cool. Just going to save this before we go any further. Part of me wonders actually if it's worth. Yeah, I'll do. I think it gets a lot easier on the later frames, to be honest. I realised I should have copied that. There we go. Right. So. So it should be here. I'm really confused now. So that one, that one. Oh, I've lost my good red. Oh no, I'm right up against the edge. What have I done? Get rid of these now. Save that frame. Did I put... I don't think I created a way of deleting a frame, which, now that I come to think of it, would be really useful. Yeah, that would be really useful. So I'm actually going to eyeball it rather than copy the previous animation. Oh no, I've lost my good red. going to erase the other sort of offshoots from the old one. Then save. Make sure I don't lose the work. To sample this. Actually, might have this one spread out a little bit. Yeah, I might split in two actually. Cool. Well, I like that. I think it looks good. So we will just do a final save, and then a render. Cool. And then back to our game file. So now we need to figure out a way. I can think of a really hacky way of doing this without having to stitch the files together. And in fact, I'm gonna go with that. But I think in a future video, I'll figure out how to allow the Pixel app to create a kind of already a pre-stitched together image. So clone that. Do it on the left. Oops. Spell it correctly. That needs to be that. To image. Oops, image 2. There we go, pass that in there. Sorry, I'm just thinking we could actually do the flip. We could flip them really easily in GIMP, and then it could just randomly pick an offshoot to play next. Because it gets a few out. Yeah, it gets quite a few out before. Yeah, let's do that actually. Let's open up GIMP. So we've got 5 more left, I think. Ah, no, it's not going to work, is it? The problem is, if I flip the image upside down, the center of the fireball will no longer be the center of the fireball. Could be upside down. Yeah, for now, let's stick with... Yeah, I should have done the fireball in the center. I didn't go up and down. Ah, well. Yeah, for now, let's just... We'll pick randomly between left and right. Oops. Create not struct in enum. Ugh. Okay, fireball select. I call this current select. And now we need to pick one in here. And I'm going to have to Google how to do a random selection for do a random choice for an enum. Sorry, just looking up how to choose between items in an enum. Let's put it in the comments. Yeah, I think the easiest thing is going to be to just pick a random number. So the question is, do we have a random number generator already in here? I don't think we do. No, we don't. Okay, so I'm going to import rand. Okay, and then in here we will use rand's. Excuse me, I'm just looking up the G. Thread ing. I think that should give us a random number. Is that including? Just going to debug this in a really hacky way. Didn't import the glue console log. Forgot what we even called it. Current select. Fireball select. In fact, let's test this out by having current select. image. Will it let me do reference like that? Yes, it will. Awesome. Okay, so we're all set up for our next test, I think. I'll get the console up so that we can see it. Oops. Okay, doesn't look like something. Oh, yeah, I lost connection. Okay, good news is the left animation is also working. I think I actually even prefer that one to the right animation. But yeah, cool. Okay. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. So this needs to be between 0 and 2. Just check that. So we should, upon refresh, get sometimes 1, sometimes 0. Yep. It's randomly picking 1 and 0. Okay. So we can now, instead of doing this, we'll do match that. Case 1. Actually, don't know if I can do this. Case 1, return fireball, select left. Fireball, select right. Use that. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, okay. So I think I prefer the left one, so make that the default. Then, when we get to the end, we then want to run all of this again. Cool, we'll just select a random side each time. Yes, it is doing it. Okay, cool. Right, well that's definitely doing that. So now we need to calculate the distance that we've travelled for this. And actually before I go ahead and do that, I'm going to just do a commit on the code just to save it at this point, because I'm pretty happy with this. I'm just going to double check for any extraneous logging. Cool. Right, and with that, I'm going to take a short 5-minute break, and yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back very soon. I'm just going to go and get a drink and everything. We'll carry on calculating the distance and hopefully make it explode against the back wall. And I think that'll probably take us to the end of the stream. But yeah, I hope to see you all in 5 minutes. muted. Okay, now I'm muted. Cool. Hi everyone, welcome back. Sorry about that. I had to take a comfort break. Got myself a drink. Right, what do we say we're going to do? We're going to try and hit the back wall, and ideally leave a mark when we hit that. So I think we want to come here again and create an image. So we'll actually create a new one. We'll call this Scorch. For Fireball. And we made it 70 by 100 last time. And we'll go straight with the pixel width of 10. Actually, I can't remember. Let's look. Check on open. Details at 70 by 100, a pixel width of 5. Cool, okay, and now we just want to select a black color. This is a good with that. And zoom in a bit. And the center was around here. Some scorch marks. Yeah, that is pretty happy with that. It's just to indicate, again, all the graphics will be improved at some point. Render that, get in sheets, save images, Scorch PNG. Cool, come back to the Fireball. Yeah, pretty much want to calculate when the time to live, and then go into, yeah, let's add another image to this to swap out. So we'll do Scorch image elements. That's image 3. I think it was just called Scorch. Yeah, there it is. Scorch. Image name. Suspect I spelled something wrong there. Something like that. Syntax error expected semicolon. Yes, it is. Not enough semicolons. Scorch name. Image 3. So, just trying to think what we want to do. Basically, whether we want to create a state variable to indicate that it's alive. Actually, let's create is dying, because we've got is alive, is dying. Let's give it a bool. Because we're using the is alive to remove it from the set in, or the vector, sorry, in the game. So actually, we want to time to live and self dot and not no, and self dot is dying is true, else if self dot ttl is less than or equal to 0 and self dot not self dot is dying. So if it's not currently dying, then self dot is dying equals true, and self dot ttl equals fireball times live. There we go. So we reset the timer. Oops. Yeah, reset the timer if it's doing that. I guess it can still keep switching sides. That actually won't make a difference. Ooh, we could make a horrible if statement here. If stuff is dying, else. Hang on, not that. That. Try and sort out the formatting here. Let's give that a go and see. Not 100% convinced this is going to work, but it might, you never know. Oh, hello. Right. If self dot is done. Oh, yeah, because we set it to true straight away. There we go. Yeah, is dying is false, but is alive is true. There we go, we have that. Okay, that's no good. Why does it... Oh, right, yeah. We also need to calculate the output width. Right. If... Okay. Okay, so we're going to calculate the output width and output height at the same time in a tuple. I'm going to say if self dot is dying, then we'll return one set of things, otherwise we will return that. Actually, would it let us do it without the brackets? Let's have a look. Okay, no, it doesn't like us doing that, so we need to group them. Okay, what doesn't it like about that? If else have compare. Oh, okay, yeah, right. Oh, okay, so we might be able to get away with doing that. Actually, let's give that a go. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, so yeah, we're now calculating the output width and output height at the same time. But if it's dying, then we want it to be. Let's actually just do 0.5 times. Let's try that, see what happens. Oop. Not sure why it's flashing. Ah, yeah, okay. It's the offset. That's why it's cycling through the animations. This function's getting really really nasty. Okay. Hey, there we go. And it disappears. Awesome. Right. Cool. So now the problem is it's shrinking down to 0 before showing the scorch mark, which of course doesn't make a lot of sense. So now we need to calculate the distance to the back wall. Actually going to sorry, I'm just going to have to have a think about this. Need the distance at any point. So my thought was I was going to make the back wall a distance of like arbitrary 100 units, meaning that everything will just be a percentage distance down the corridor. So everything that's placed in the corridor will be a distance down it. But then the time to live really should be it hitting the back wall. So I think is 3 seconds too long to get to the back wall? Yeah, I think we should have. So the time to live really should just be a backstop. We shouldn't really hit that. It should hit something first. And that's where in the game we need to check whether it's hit anything in the game update. So we update the fireball, then we're going to then at that point it will have hit something. So we're going to need to create a new function inside the fireball, which is going to be public. Hit objects. It doesn't need to know anything, I guess. It's self.is dying is equal to true. Yeah, of course, I've got to put mutual reference to self in there. Yeah. And we're also going to need get distance. So pub fun get distance. And it's going to be an F64. And it needs to calculate how far down the corridor we've gone. So I'm going to say that 2 seconds seems like a reasonable amount of time to travel the full length of the corridor. So we can get the let current time, let's call it time diff, is equal to self dot time to live. So fireball time to live minus, actually sorry, let's call this time alive. I think that makes it less confusing. Self dot ttl. Actually, if self dot is dying, return 0. Otherwise, we calculate the amount of time that we've been alive, and then the distance. So we'll say const fireball distance or time to full distance. is going to be equal to 2000. So that's the full length of time. I'm going to leave a comment on this because I'm totally going to forget what that means. Time to travel entire corridor. So the time alive has been that, and then we need it as percentage of 100. So it's then that distance equals time alive divided by fireball time to full distance. That is a fraction, and then we multiply by 100. And that should do it. Yeah. So then we say if fb.getDistance is greater than or equal to 100, then fb.hitObject. Cool. And later on, we can maybe pass different parameters to this to indicate what sort of object is hit. So whether it's hit a character or just a wall. I mean, obviously if it's a wall, it leaves a little scorch mark on the wall. If it hits a character, it could like disappear in a cloud of smoke or something. But yeah, that's okay. That should work. And this is check if hit the back wall. And that's actually only going to be if it's in the back wall. We'll need to calculate the different distances based on this percentage here. So this distance, obviously with this being almost 100, at, what is that, 338? Let's call that 340. Yeah, so basically whether it's hit the wall or not. So yeah, but let's give this a go and see what happens. Okay. Yeah, that kind of works. Okay, and then obviously it loses all of that once you get onto the walls, because these distances should be longer. So yeah, but that's cool. That's working, I think. So that's cool, and that's now it's hitting the object rather than dying from old age of the fireball. So that's cool. Okay. Let's check this code in. Now, so it's the scorch and fireball. Did I leave any logs lying around? Get rid of that. Yeah, so obviously this only works if it's in the back wall, and now we need to check if it's hit one of the walls. So I think for that we're gonna create a new function inside game control, and it will probably need to be check fireball walls. Let's call it check fireball strike. and we'll pass in self, not because we need it now, but because later it will hold a link to all the assets. So we'll we'll be able to add in like assets to make sure, so it can check whether it's hit or not. So right, and then we pass in the fireball, which is going to be a fireball, and it needs to be mutable, I think. It almost certainly needs to be a reference. Cool. Check fireball strike at the roots. Try removing at me. Okay. Don't need to tell it. Yeah, cool. Okay, well, it's definitely did we have a check in hit object? Right, if okay, it just doesn't matter because it just sets is dying to true, so she shouldn't change anything internally to the cannot borrow self as mutable more than one time. Damn. We'll do that. It doesn't like me doing that. I guess check fireball strike does it doesn't. Yeah, actually oh no, because it's still going to hit this problem. Wait, what? No, it doesn't seem to care. Is it really not caring? No, it is. Two previous errors. Maybe self doesn't need to be mutable. Yeah. Okay, it's... Yeah, okay. This is an interesting conundrum. I guess we could do... No, because it needs to be immutable. Okay, yeah, so I'll go with my other plan, which was to not pass in... We won't make it self for now, and we'll find another way to pass the assets later. So check fireball strike, remove self. Will it let us do that? Let's have a look. Okay, did an error, so that's a good start. Yeah, that works. Okay, cool. Right, so now we can go and have a look at the code here to check the walls. So check for wall strikes. Later on, what we'll do is we'll just try and pass in the assets somehow. I haven't quite decided how to structure those yet, so we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, we can check for wall strikes. We need to get the distances. So between 0 and 340 and 800 and 460. Call that. I'm going to write these down because I'll forget those numbers. Pencil. Right, so 0 to 4, what did I say? 340. Yeah, 340 is the left wall, and 460 to 800 is the right wall. And we're going to need to get the location. Sorry, didn't quite finish that thought. Doesn't like that. That's right. Equals fireball.getLocation. If x is less than 340, then yeah. So we're going to have more complications because of the ceiling, but for now I'm going to ignore the ceiling, and we'll just go with the distance. So the the distance to wall is going to be so we've got 340, and that needs to be mapped onto 100. So x is going to be, so say x is 10, it needs to be 10 over 340, yeah, or 340 over 340. Be equal to 100. 340x. Sorry, this is going to be a really compelling stream to watch me do maths on paper that you can't even see. 10 over 340 multiplied by 100. Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, so it's the x over 340.0. Lost the ability to type. Multiplied by 100, and then fireball distance equals fireball.getDistance. And if fireball distance is greater than or equal to distance to wall, then fireball dot hit object. Yeah, that might work. I'm going to underscore the y because we're not using it just now. Oops. Yeah, right. Okay, so check it hit the wall. We hit the wall, the back wall. Yes. It travels further. It goes further to hit further down the corridor. Nice. Okay, yes, that works. And this one doesn't, so we just now need to fix this wall. So else if x is greater than, where did it start? 460. Check if it's the right wall. And This one's going to be a bit trickier. Distance to wall equals it's going to be the game width minus x. Divided by game width minus 460. I'm trying to make this as universal as possible so that we can change the game width later on. Times 100. And then the fireball calculation is going to be the same. That might work. Let's give it a go. Okay, that is not. No, that is not working. Okay. 460. Okay, so we've got. Oh, hang on. No, that needs. I should be right. Yeah, that should be right. So we've got the game width is 800 minus the current X location, which could be 800, in which case it would be like 1 over this, which is always going to be the same, 800 minus 460, which would be 400, just for completeness, so it would be 1 over 400, whereas if I was at 460, I would be the same, so that would be 1, like game width minus 460 would be the same as game width minus 460, which would be 1 multiplied by 100, and then fireball get distance, fireball distance squares down equal to okay, I'm going to need to put some logging in here. Maybe I didn't refresh or something. That's because that you know, maybe I didn't hit save. In fact, I didn't because it would have errored here. Ah, damn it. Okay, that's me trying to debug something I didn't even save. Okay, so yes, yes, yes. Excellent. Well, that works. Yeah, we're going to have to take into account the ceiling at some point because things like that happen, and that, you know, yeah. So yeah, we also need to check if it's hit the ceiling. But yeah, I'm super happy with that. We've got the fireball, we've got the scorch marks, and we've got the distance calculations going on. And we're coming on for 2 hours on the stream. I think I'm going to call it a night and wish everyone a good day. Yeah, hope to see you soon. Thanks very much for stopping by. Sorry to the person who's just joined. But I'm afraid we're going to call it a night and head off soon. But yeah, check in on the channel. I'll post links to the code and the Pixel app and all the usual sort of stuff. In fact, I think they're already in the description. So check it out there. And yeah, now that we've got something interactive, I'm going to have a look at posting this to the actual Electro Cat Studios website. And yeah, you'll be able to kind of have a play around with it yourself. Obviously, the code's all open source, so feel free to download it, modify it. There's no, I hold nothing particularly precious about this, so feel free to modify it you know, if you manage to somehow turn this into a commercial game, then please let me know. I'd be very interested. I will stop by and I will purchase it as well. But yeah, it's either way, I'm pretty happy with the progress. I think it's going well. Thanks very much for watching, and hopefully see you again soon. Yeah, take care. Bye for now.